Hello and welcome to the Wednesday live show by Sobirov's Law Firm. I'm your host, Rahmat Sobirov. Today we will be talking about starting a business in Canada based on the most frequently asked questions from you that we gathered for you today. However, make sure that you send us your questions during this live show. That's why we are here. Let's get started now.
Just a quick reminder before we start. Please note that whatever you hear in these live sessions or any content you see on social media by Sobirov's Law Firm is general information only and not legal advice. While we may use certain real-life scenarios or legal cases for learning purposes, it is important to remember that this does not constitute a legal opinion. For personalized legal advice, please consult with your lawyer or hire a Canadian immigration lawyer. Now, let's get back to our show.
And before we delve into the real topic, today's topic, we usually bring news pieces that are relevant to you. News piece number one for the week today is the first appearance, the public appearance of our new immigration minister, Mark Miller, who is saying, according to Financial Post and Bloomberg, who is saying that the need for immigration is too great and we shouldn't expect any decrease in immigration flow. And Mark Miller, the new immigration minister, will announce the new numbers, the new plan for immigration on November 1st. So stay tuned, we'll bring you the updates on that front. So the first appearance of Mark Miller is very important. What kind of statement he is making. And the message that is clear today as we analyze his speech, that the immigration flow will only increase. It will not decrease. Although there's a huge housing problem in Canada, the immigration is needed very, very much. What does it mean to you? Many of our clients, they are asking whether this program or that immigration program will be stopped or will cease to exist. We don't believe so. Instead, there will be new programs launched by the end of this year and beginning of next year. So don't worry, the immigration is the bloodline of Canada's economy. Next, the second piece that I want to bring today is the express entry draws. What we can conclude from the last 3 draws that we experienced since August 1st. So as you can see here, first one was August 1st draw with no program specified, and the CRS score is still very, very high. The CRS score is the score based on which you are getting selected through express entry candidates pool. Every 2 weeks, roughly, we get selected. So what does this give us for business immigration? So you need to increase your points. It's really tough these days to become permanent residents, to get a permanent residence with your first try or your first step. So there's an intermediary step. Come to Canada temporarily and then get yourself ready for PR. So that's the message I read from this high score. Second is the French language proficiency is being rewarded by Canadian immigration system. You can see that 800 candidates with great French-speaking skills were selected on August 2nd. And the last one, which is very relevant for business immigration and labor force and what's going on in the labor market in Canada, the Canadian government started to select the right people with the right skills in the right time. Based on occupation-specific draws, Canada has selected 1,500 candidates in trades professions such as welders, electricians, HVAC, plumbers, and so on, carpenters. These are the professions that are needed, and they were selected under federal skilled trades category. What does it mean to business immigration? From where I sit and when I deal with my business immigration clients, one of the top priorities is how do we get labor force in Canada. There's unemployment has been very low for some time at 5.5% recently. So workers, the bloodline of your business are needed, and you will be getting enough labor force if you do business in Canada. So Canadian government knows it, they feel the need, and that's why trade occupations are being selected, I would say, quite aggressively to my mind. So 1,500 candidates with CRS score of 388. Now let's get back to our presentation, but before we do that, make sure you type your questions. I'm here to answer your questions, but I will start with the FAQs regarding starting business in Canada. Stay here.
Are you constantly on the move, managing your business, and looking for a convenient way to stay informed about expanding your business to Canada? Look no further. Introducing Speaking of Canada, the podcast that keeps you in the loop on all things related to Canadian business immigration, delivering the latest news and valuable tips and captivating interviews, no matter how busy your schedule gets. Speaking of Canada has got you covered.
Many people are confused as to where they should start their Canadian immigration journey. The first good step is to talk to licensed, experienced Canadian immigration lawyers such as Sobirov's law firm. Go to sobirovs.com and start your journey today by talking to our lawyers in a strategy meeting. We are here to help. Let's get to our presentation. I have 5 slides today, maximum of 5. I will not be killing you with PowerPoint. So our presentation is about starting a business, and we will concentrate on 12 FAQs, the frequently asked questions, but also your questions that I will receive live today during the show. Okay, let's start with question number 1, 2, 3. The most frequently asked question according to our research is, do I need a Canadian citizenship or permanent residency to start a business in Canada? No. Simple answer is no. You don't have to be Canadian resident or Canadian citizen to open a company and start a business, to become a shareholder in a Canadian company, okay? So, however, you will need a work permit, a designated work permit, a restricted work permit in most cases, to work in your company, okay? To work in your company, to be able to be in the labor market of Canada. That's why there are different work permits and visa types depending on your situation. So the second question usually I get is what type of business visa or work permit do I need to start? And I would add operate a business in Canada, okay? Operating is not keeping your hands in your pockets, but doing the actual jobs when you own a Canadian business. The appropriate visa or work permit type will depend on your situation, your citizenship, who you are, where you come from, the nature of the business that you will be doing, and so on. Some options are startup visa program work permit stream, owner-operator LMIA-based work permit, intra-company transfers where you have 2 related companies, a foreign company and a Canadian company, where you can transfer from one to another, and one of the most popular and the ones that we deal most of the time is C11 entrepreneur work permit on federal level and both provincial level too. There are province-specific entrepreneur streams, which we've dealt into in our previous shows, so check out our videos and our website for PNP programs related to entrepreneurs. And another number 3, FAQ number 3 is startup visa program, which has been popular for at least 3 to 4 years now. There are some changes that we highlighted in our previous videos. The Startup Visa program is designed to attract foreign entrepreneurs who have viable business ideas, and I would add investable business ideas, that they have secured funding or support from a designated organization in Canada, such as incubator, angel investor, or VC firm. Then they can apply to both permanent residence and work permit. And the work permit nowadays, according to the latest changes to the program, would be 3-year open work permit. All right, this is the most popular visa program at the moment, one of the most popular for entrepreneurs. But stay tuned, we will be comparing startup visa program to other business immigration programs and let them collide and see which one is better to what condition, to what scenario. So it depends on your scenario. Both of them are great programs, startup visa and business immigration programs, but we need to compare so that you have an informed decision-making process. So next question, and I will remind, please type your questions. I will get back to the Q&A session in a moment. I have just 12 questions to cover today. Next one is, how can I secure funding for my business idea in Canada? Roughly, there are organizations that are professionals in investing into new ventures, such as venture capital firms, angel investors, business incubators that are designated under Startup Visa program. They support your endeavor. But also, even without their support, if you have great idea, when you establish a company and you have polished business idea, business plan in your hands, you can approach commercial banks in Canada. Of course, they will evaluate your viability, feasibility, and what you've done so far on the business. And usually they require a significant down payment from your side to the project, whereas they can finance the rest of the project based on their own evaluation. So banks could also be a source of funding for you. In relation to that kind of effort to secure funding, many people, many potential entrepreneurs from outside of Canada, they ask me the question of, what is a business plan? What is a Canadian business plan? Do I really need a business plan because my idea is so great that I never put it down in a project, in a business plan? So a business plan outlines your business idea. It's not just in your mind, it's on the paper, it's calculated and assessed. Your strategies, your goals, your financial projection, realistic ones. It is typically required as part of your application for the startup visa and many other entrepreneur programs in Canada. A well-developed business plan will help you demonstrate the viability of your business. So when I talk to commercial banks most of the time, they have difficulty in appreciating a business venture, let's say in one of the countries in Asia, in Southeast Asia. They don't know the local realities, and you bring that local idea and bring it to Canada, they need to see the viability. Whether a plan that worked, let's say in India, would that plan work in Canada, in North American realities? So that's the analysis, that's the angle that you need to look at when you're preparing a business plan. It doesn't mean that your business plan is bad, maybe it's not adapted to the realities of Canadian market. So another very personal question that many of our entrepreneur clients ask is, can I bring my family with me to Canada while I start my business? The short answer is yes. You can bring your spouse or common law partners and dependent children, and they will get necessary status. Spouses and common law partners, they get open work permit. Many of our clients do that. They bring their family members. Yesterday we got the paperwork, the work permits of a husband and the wife and one child that they have. All of them got approved, and we received their work permits and study permits accordingly. Your children also can come and benefit from Canada's educational system and go to public schools for free. Okay, we are covering doing business in Canada, starting a business in Canada through FAQs. So you need to make sure that you send me your questions, because I'm almost done with my FAQs. The next question that I receive quite frequently is, are there specific provinces or territories that are better for starting a business? That's a very difficult question to respond, because Canada is such a diverse country with great geography, with different little markets, small or big markets, depending on the region. So different provinces and territories in Canada offer various opportunities for entrepreneurs, and there are programs and incentives and certain need for certain type of business. It is important to do thorough research, which we do in-house with our business specialist team. And you need to consider such as the factors that are the industry you're getting in, whether that industry is present in the location of your target location, market demand for your services, regional regulations. There are certain regulations, even because consider Canada as a federation of independent provinces, almost independent provinces. They have their own regulations. So you need to really research your industry and come up with the best location. And we can help you with that too. The business location, business finding services is part of what we do with for our clients. And much depends on the sector you want to be. That's very clear. Whether the sector is highly regulated, the entry barriers are high or low. So all these research, I will remind, will form the analysis that is needed for your business plan too. So it's not just putting the numbers down on a piece of paper, it's the thorough research on the ground with all necessary means before you come to Canada. So provinces and territories, they have also economic development offices. So I suggest you do research and contact economic development office of each region, whether it's a municipality or a province or even a region, such as Atlantic region, for example. So you need to contact the right institutions, the right government offices to get the right information. Now, the next question is not my cup of tea. It's what are the tax implications for foreign entrepreneurs in Canada? No doubt there will be tax implications, so you need to consult with a tax advisor. Canadian tax laws are so complex that I don't even dare to go into that forest. You'll need to understand the tax obligations of HST, your business income, and other applicable taxes depending on the industry too. So consulting a tax professional is highly recommended, and we have good connections with tax lawyers in Canada or accountants, CPA, CGAs, and other professionals who will guide you in the right direction with respect to taxes. What is certain in Canada is death and taxes are unavoidable, so you gotta make sure you cover that front. The next question usually is, can I buy an existing business in Canada as a foreign entrepreneur? Yes. And I always highlighted a succession problem in Canada. What I mean by that is succession problem is the problem where older generation business owners, they are retiring by selling or hoping to sell their existing private businesses, small and medium businesses, so that they can retire comfortably. So there's a problem in Canada, and Federation, I think Canadian Federation of Independent Business has a report about that, showing that almost $3 trillion problem of Canada is that the old business owner needs to sell to a new owner so that the business has a continuity, a succession. So that's the problem. Yes, you can buy, and I encourage you to buy a business in Canada. These are all good businesses. It's just the energy is not there. The owners need to retire or want to retire for certain personal or other reasons, and you can get a good business with solid customer base and good history, goodwill, and brand. So that you should consider that. It's part of the provincial entrepreneur program, and it's also can be devised, strategized to go through federal business immigration program by purchasing an existing business. There are certain due diligence and steps you need to make, and we can help you with that too. So yes, you can buy an existing business in Canada as a foreign entrepreneur. However, you will need to ensure that the necessary transfer of ownership is legally completed, so lawyers are involved, and that you meet any applicable requirements, because certain sectors are regulated, and then there are certain additional requirements, not just paying the money, getting the shares or the assets of the business. There are other requirements too. Okay, the last three questions that I have is, are there any language requirements for starting a business in Canada? Some entrepreneur programs may require proof of language proficiency in English or in French. For example, provincial nominee programs. Yes, their language requirements are lower than other programs. However, they require a language test result. This is to ensure that you can effectively communicate and operate your business in Canada, which is an English-speaking and French-speaking country. So yes, you may have a very niche area to target certain language group in Canada, but for Canadian immigration purposes, that's English and French, okay? You need to demonstrate that you can effectively run a business. Federal business immigration programs don't have strict language requirements. It's not there. It's not a requirement to get a test, but you have to be reasonable. You have to show that you can run a business in an English, French-speaking country, okay? How long does the process of starting a business in Canada typically take is another commonly asked question. The processing time can vary based on the specific program you're applying for and other factors. Establishing an incorporated business is a fast process. It can be done under several days. Just a legal, bringing the corporation into legal existence, it's not a complicated process, but necessary steps need to be taken. But to be able to run and kickstart that business, you need a work permit. That takes time. It is important to plan ahead and be prepared for potential delays, whether it's a local delays or the immigration-related delays. So Sobirov's law firm suggests that you allocate at least 6 months to be comfortable to deal with your business immigration, starting your business, preparing all the necessary documents, and getting some results from the Canadian immigration authorities. The last question, where can I find resources and assistance for starting a business in Canada? Various government agencies such as Invest Canada, Toronto Global, or many other designated Crown corporations. They are called Crown corporations, which basically means that they were created by the government to attract investment into Canada. Economic Development Office websites and many other websites. They are all mentioned on our website, sobirovs.com. So sobirovs.com is a great first source of reference for your research. We create great content and we hope it will be helpful because we want to educate our potential clients. An educated client is the best client that you can dream of because they know what they're dealing with, they know the risks, and they know how to ask the right question. So that's all from me. A little bit about the methods of starting a business. I mentioned in my first FAQ, entrepreneur visas are very common. Intra-company transfers, where we move you from one company to your Canadian company. Startup visa program I mentioned. LMIA work permit programs for various streams. It is also available. And I would also add here under entrepreneur visa, provincial entrepreneur streams. That's also a new avenue that you can take. By the end of 2023, the government has promised a new innovation stream. Innovation stream, we are on the lookout for that program. When it comes out, we will let you know the innovation stream by the end of 2023. That will be something very interesting to monitor. If you need an honest and holistic guidance on business immigration, Sobirov's law firm is your friend. Come talk to us. We are experienced, more than 10 years in the business, and we've helped multiple business owners to come to Canada, and we are happy to help you too. Book your consultation with us, and we will get started with your questions right now. Thank you very much.
To stay updated on all things related to Canadian business immigration, check us out on social media. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter for the latest news and updates. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the notification bell to stay informed about the most recent immigration news, interviews with top immigration specialists, and our weekly live shows. Visit our website at www.sabirovs.com for more information or to book a consultation with our team of experts.
By the way, before I get to your questions, we have several videos regarding about business plans and about taxation. But if you want us to bring back our tax lawyer friends to the studio and have a live session with you, please leave a comment under this video, and we will try to get the professionals that you want to speak to. Of course, virtually, you can ask them your questions, because we are not experts in everything. We are expert in business immigration. So check out our videos on business plan, and there's also a video about taxation. Also leave us a comment on who you want to see in our studio in the near future. Okay, let's get to your questions. Mohir Hossein, greetings to Mohir. Under the SUV, the Startup Visa program, after a 3-year work permit, a person can work on any industry until he applies for PR. Well, this is very interesting. It's something new, that the 3-year open work permit. During 3-year open work permit, you can work for any employer where you find an employment. And then that employment experience may potentially qualify you for Canadian Experience class. So by the end of your initial 3-year work permit, you probably will have advanced towards permanent residency. So if in case your work permit has expired and you have not yet obtained PR in Canada, I think you need to get a justification to get another work permit. Most probably it will be restricted employer specific work permit, but I strongly suggest that during your first 3 years of open work permit, try to get Canadian Experience in the necessary category, and then try to move forward as far as possible with your PR application. I think to be honest, just as a human, I want to say government is trying to bring the best and brightest to Canada. And one way of doing it is, okay, you are a startup visa entrepreneur. You applied for your PR. Why don't you come on a work permit? Here's 3-year open work permit. Do your best to settle down and establish yourself in Canada. And other opportunities will open, like PR opportunities and whatnot. If not you, then your spouse could be a principal applicant too. So when you think of Canadian immigration, most of the time think of the whole family business project, family PR project, because it's not only you as a principal applicant for startup visa, but also your spouse, who will have in parallel to your status an open work permit status. So work together. Whoever satisfies the PR requirements faster, that should be a principal applicant. So it's a lot of strategy, but I think, thank you for the question. This is my answer to that one. Thank you very much. Now, Mythical Arts is asking the following question. Hello from India. Hello to India. We have many clients from India, and we have successfully obtained status for them. And stay tuned, we have a major announcement with respect to India in the coming weeks. So, hello from India, thank you very much. I'm having handmade jewelry online business started last year. Is there anything for me? Can I bring my business to Canada through business immigration? Okay, if your business has been in existence for at least 12 months and your revenues are substantial and good, yes, you can bring your online business to Canada too. We have helped jewelry owners from the Middle East who are of Indian origin, but they are from the Middle East. They brought the business to Canada One option could be intra-company transfer, or the other could be the C11 significant benefit work permit. It all depends on your potential, what you can do, and how much money you're willing to invest to your Canadian operations. Talk to us. This question is great, however, I cannot go into details. There are many moving parts, okay? Read the success stories on our website. There are several success stories. I think at least I remember 2 related to jewelry business. Sadina is asking, hello Sadina, I'm a dentist working in Saudi Arabia. If I buy a running business in Canada, do I have to run the business for 12 months to apply for PR, or buying a business is enough to apply for PR? That's a great question. First of all, as a dentist, if you want to buy a dentistry clinic in Canada, I heard from my interview of a dentist, there's an interview of a dentist on our YouTube channel, please check it out. According to the regulations in Canada, someone who's not a dentist in Canada cannot own a dental office. So if your question relates to a dental office, that's my answer. But if it's not related to a regulated profession of dentistry, if you have a running business and the business is financially sustainable, has good income, and it can pay you higher salary for senior management position, you don't have to wait 12 months. Usually we suggest you wait 12 months, but if the business can afford to get an LMIA and make a job offer for you, they can increase that can increase your CRS score, and you can move forward to PR within the first year. But usually in our practice, you operate successfully, especially new business, for at least 12 months, and then see if the business can support you for your PR. Just the fact that you buy a business does not give you PR, okay? So another one, I'm looking to buy a wellness clinic. Okay, Sadina, yeah, that's a good clarification. For wellness clinic, yes, it's not regulated heavily as dental office. You can buy and own, become a business owner, and run the business. Again, my answer remains the same. Depends on the financial capacity and the history of the business. Whether it can support your PR efforts or not. Okay. Another is the person from Husnit Hoja. Hello, Husnit Hoja. Thank you very much, Husnuddin Hoja. Can I make a business in bakery? Yes. Bakery is one of very lucrative business in Canada, according to our research. Last week, we made a news piece about a corporation which will be expanding its bakery operations in Scarborough, Ontario. Government has welcomed $19 million investment into that baking operation. They will bake a lot of food, a lot of bread-related products, and sell it across Canada as well as to the United States. As an anecdote, I can tell you that a friend of mine worked in bakery for several years. He was telling me that most of the bread consumed in the northern states of United States are produced and baked in Canada and exported to the United States. So there are big bakery operations, but you don't have to start big. You can start small. It can be very ethnic focused bakery, like your own cuisine, or it can address to the general population. There are many baking operations, many coffee houses that use bakeries to bake their goods and sell in coffee houses. Talk to us. Bakery is a daily consumption product. Bakery is very good. We have a bakery next to our office. It's one of the most popular bakeries in town. And I can see that their operation is quite impressive. So it's a good one. Mythical arts, again, another question. High substantial income has any quantitative value, means how much profit it should I have? Well, your store, we suggest, just to be on the safe side, we suggest that your current operations should be making around 300,000 annual revenues at the moment. So then that operation can allocate at least 150,000 for Canadian expansion, small steps, but That's the practice that we have. Why we come up with 150,000? It's based on our practice, plus we can benchmark from provincial nominee programs for entrepreneurs. In those programs, the minimum that we know now is a rural entrepreneur program in Alberta, which requires $100,000 investment. So from those benchmarks, although federal immigration programs, they don't have a benchmark, but we can make a good judgment saying that $150,000 should be the invested amount, the ready amount to be invested, but your operation should be making around 300,000 Canadian dollars per year and in revenues. Okay, I think I've answered most of the questions. If we don't have a questions, we will ask our technical support to bring those questions on the screen. I read the questions through that screen, so I apologize, I'm not looking straight. Okay, by the way, all this video will be mentioned, all links that are mentioned in this video will be in the description section of the video. Go and read the news, the relevant news. Those are affecting the immigration landscape, and we are here to stay tuned to all changes, so don't worry. Make sure you subscribe, because I noticed that our YouTube viewers, 80% of our YouTube viewers are not subscribed. And that makes me sad, to be honest. We are here for you. Make sure that you subscribe and send this video to your friends within your network. It would be very appreciated by us, and it would help us to reach the right audience, such as yourself, the entrepreneurs who are willing or wishing to come to Canada. That's it for me, for us today. I look forward to our next Wednesday live show. Stay tuned and send us your feedback and comments. Thank you for your participation. Have a great rest of the week. Bye-bye.